question itself structured to ask if there is a difference.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Chief, man. Listen, I'm just browsing TikTok right now, and a video popped up with literally a whole conversation, a whole panel, all right, talking about who we are as so-called black people in America or so-called Africans. So, and the people that are actually debating that are actually real Africans. So let's listen in a little bit and get into hear what they're saying.
Is it because the government says so, or is it because the way that somebody self-identifies?
Check.
Yeah, that question it doesn't hold substance. I mean, let's go to
you don't understand the language, right? You don't.
No, I understand the language, but it's too broad. You know,
you don't understand because
you have to keep your question short and precise, so it's easy for understanding, right? Hold on. Do you know why? Do you know why most questions are bogus? Hold on, man. Do you know why most questions are bogus? Because one, it carries a lot of fakes. Hold on, man.
These people live under being covered.
Bro, let me tell you. Do you know why most questions is hard to understand? Because one, it carries a lot of bogus statement in it. Two, it's too long. It's hard to comprehend. Four, you have to make your questions short and simple, precise. It's easy so it can be easy.
Understand it. It's not your history.
It's not my history, right? Okay. All right. Okay. Let's move on since it's not my history. Let's go to Afro-Caribbean. We're going to come back to you. Afro-Caribbean, go ahead. Do you have anything to say on the top? Are you black anyway? Are you Indian?
No, I'm Afro-Caribbean.
Host, I'm dropping off. The amount of disrespect, the over-talking, it's absolutely insane. No one on here knows how to be cordial.
Exactly, Jay Black. Hold on. I don't know. Come on, man.
Move on from this.
Let's move on, bro. We're gonna come back to you, man. Afro-Caribbean, go ahead. Did you say you were Indian?
No, I'm an Afro-Caribbean.
What part of it? What country in the Caribbean you from?
Bahamas. But I'm half Trinidadian.
Half Trinidadian, half Bahamas. But you live in United States.
Yeah, Florida. Yeah.
All right. So are you versed with these topics or conversations?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I can go two on two, you know.
All right, yeah, go ahead. What do you have to contribute based on what you have heard on the topic?
Yeah, so I want to just address the topic first. Who is African American? I would say to be African, right? I would say you have to descend from indigenous people of Africa to be called African in the first place. So, for example, my ancestors descend from Western Africa, and they're the indigenous people of Africa and nowhere else. So I have the right to be called Afro-Caribbean, African, that kind of lost some of their identity and was forced to the foreign lands, you know. So I can call myself as my ancestors did, you know. But for a guy like Elon Musk, his ancestors is not indigenous to South Africa. His ancestors are indigenous to Europe, somewhere in Europe. So it's for him to call himself African like me, if I call myself African.
Hold on. If you're on the back chat and you haven't followed me, and because they are over 60, I'm trying to choose. So based on who I'm choosing people that are following me. So, and if you are not following me and you are the back chat, and then it's gonna be hard for you to come on here. It's a lot of people. So yeah, go ahead. And if you on the chat as well, you please follow the host. You know.
Yeah, of course, anytime. Yeah. So I'll say I'll just say Elon Musk is just a white South African, you know. He's just what I'm gonna say like that. He's just a white South African, you know. Nothing to stress over, you know. But Elon Musk, right? You know, Elon Musk's ancestors, you know, they're not indigenous. You know, the white phenotype that we see today is not indigenous to Africa. It's indigenous to a very cold land, you know. the climate and stuff. It's not indigenous, you know. Africa is too hot, you know.
Okay. Anybody? I think we have. Anybody want to say something before we move to others?
Yeah, I can say something about
go ahead,
Afrocentric. My question is, so when we're looking at things contextually, like the word African American, right, and we're relating that to Elon Musk. It's okay for us to relate that word to him. Now, when we're talking about Afrocentric, is he from the lineage? Is he from the African diaspora? That's a different story. But what we're trying to label him, like, it's just a nationality. African American is a nationality. He was born in Africa and he was naturalized in America. So therefore, yes, indeed, he is African American. So I don't understand the emotional take when it comes to
African. I just call him white South African because he was born in South Africa.
Yeah, but if he was
but he's
born,
also American. But he's also American, though.
He's from that continent, right, of Africa. So him living in America could be African American as well.
Right, he's also naturalized. He's American.
He wasn't born there.
Hold on, you just got on the planet. That's why I let you stay on the back chat for a while. You're gonna,
He wasn't born there, so you can't call him American, though.
He was naturalized. There are two ways. No, there are two ways you can become American. One is to be by birth, and the second one is to be naturalized. So he's actually naturalized. So he's an American citizen through naturalized.
American. He's a fake American.
What do you mean fake American? Who is an American anyway? I mean, hold on. Anyone on the back chat that is not following me, please follow me. There is a lot of people. You know, I'm only choosing people that are following me. So I'm still saying it. Yeah.
The so-called Black Americans today, right, are not real Americans. You do know, right?
So
not real Americans.
So what do you call a black person from Peru who is in America? Who is naturalized in America?
They're not real. They're not real Americans. Black Americans are not real Americans.
It's not true. Hold on. Wait, I'm not going to cut anybody off. Hold on. This is Grit and Grime talking, please, you guys.
So Grit and Grime, hold on. Introduce yourself. Are you black? Are you white? Are you Indian?
I'm the original brown, copper color, red skin American. I'm the original man of
this topic is not about brown, red skin, copper. It's about black American or African American. Now, if you come on this if you come on this panel and you're not precise about who you are, there's so many people on the back chat, you know, I have to drop them. So yeah, let's go to King. Let's go to King Savage. King Savage, are you there?
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, are you African American? Are you African? Are you Indian? What are you?
African American. I was born and raised. Now, I was born and raised in Durham, North Carolina. My grandparents were from here, so forth. And I just did my ancestry, right? And I just got it back today, where this is showing my history of. It's more in here also. It even shows that I got Irish, Native, Indigenous, what have you. But it gives a breakdown. So from this, even though I was born and raised here, my generation from here are, I guess, as we know, there were slaves. Now, on my birth certificate, it had I was a Negro, if you know what that means. And then they changed it years later and put African American on our birth certificates. So I'm 51 years old. So with this being said, and this is just a piece of it. Again, it shows I have the others, which tells me about British, Irish. Again, they're all around 13% as well. And 1% Filipino, Asian, and so forth. So what do you consider me? Am I African American or am I this Black American that y'all using now? This is like a new generation thing using Black American. Before
were you born here?
Yeah, but Durham, North Carolina. My grandparents were born here, great grandparents were born here, and so forth.
So you're Black American.
So
what you mean he's Black American? He's African American. African American isn't African American and Black American is the same.
He has African blood. Definitely, we do have. So when we're talking about nationality wise and where he's actually from, we're talking about him being born here. He definitely does have African lineage. He has African blood. But what we're talking about contextually, he's not African American because I feel like a Black American who is born here being called African American is very disrespectful because this is what Yeah, because this is what the white team men labeled them as, because they're not good enough to be American.
No.
What the hell are you talking about, man? I thought you were saying that black American and African American is the same people. Now you say there's a distinction between black American and African American. Wow.
Yes.
My birth certificate says Negro, if you know what I mean.
Exactly. Those names have been changed from Negro to color to black American to African American. So it's the same thing.
Right, but I'm saying contextually where he's from, where he's born at. He was born here, so he's American.
But I would love African American because
I would love the fact that they stopped using the word any other thing, just say American. Like for example, I would love to be called just American because I was born here, right? So
you want the name African American to be peculiar to the Africans that are coming into this country.
Right, because they're from that country, just like we have Asian American
continent.
Like Asian American.
Okay, right. But the blacks here should consider themselves African Caribbean. And the blacks here should consider themselves black American and don't say African American. Is that what you say?
Or just say American.
Oh, okay. So I mean, King Savage, I finish with your statement. Then let's move on.
No, so that was just what I want to clarify, because again, this black American just started coming up in the last couple of years. It wasn't utilized back in my youth, in my time. Again, I'm 51, so I consider myself African American, born and raised here. My grandparents and so forth are here, but I don't know why you want to separate our lineage of being from Africa. You know, majority of my blood says it's West African.
Yeah, because
I'm like trying to eradicate that history from myself.
Okay, right.
Come on in there. Let's go to the Holy Spirit. Oh, yeah.
Holy Spirit.
Yeah, Afro-Caribbean. Go ahead.
Yeah, so King Savage, can you leave your back up? Can you leave your stuff up? I want to talk about it a little bit.
Because there's a lot of it. This is the first part with the most percentage. Okay,
and then we're going to come back to that. Let's go to Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Man, what kind of name is that, man? Like, where you from, brother?
Nigeria.
Right?
Niger.
Where are you? Are you Nigerian?
Niger, brother.
Hey, host, can I finish with him quickly? Can I finish with King?
Go ahead, man. Then we go to Holy Spirit, man. Go ahead.
All right. So, okay, it says Nigerian. So you're 84.8% West African. Okay. Yeah. And what about Central African?
Angola, you got Angola and Congolese 13.2% and 13.6.
Okay, so why are you European? Can I see the Europe side?
Yes, 1 second. Okay, this is the Congolese or something like that as well. But 1 second, look at the European. You see the bottom one.
11.7% and 10.5%.
Yeah. So for the European side, right? What? Okay, it's like it says British 11. It says It says okay, for like the British, it says 11.7. Who's how did your people look like in Britain? In Britain, how did they look like? What people did you?
The European man.
Anyway, I think I had enough of that nonsense, man. Listen, this is our fault. All right, this is definitely our fault because we are not going hard enough in talking to our people, and we are not going hard enough in uniting. You see what I'm saying? Because there's a whole conversation, and that's not the only one. I ran into another platform of Africans trying to determine who we are. You know what I'm saying? And then you have a lot of brainwashed people here. You hear it, Afro-Caribbean. Oh, well, you know, even people that was born in the U.S. Oh, well, you know, well, my birth certificate says Negro. You know what I'm saying? My birth certificate says Negro. Well, if your grandmother, your great-grandmother was from here, most likely they did not come from Africa, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's what our people just don't get. And I get what you're saying, supreme health and wealth. They don't listen. But those of us who know, why aren't we coming together? That's what I'm saying. Those of us who know, why aren't we coming together and stepping up and make sure that we have a voice on a national platform and declaring who we are, okay? And put the burden of proof on the corporation and these people trying to tell us who we are and who we are not, because they cannot prove we came from Africa, because we did not come from Africa. You see what I'm saying? So I say we are the ones to blame. We are the ones to blame because we don't put enough emphasis. We don't put enough urgency on making our declaration and standing up as who we are. We have a window to make this happen. You see what I'm saying? And if we don't, our people are going to dive right back into slavery. It is really that simple. You see, we are not versed and we are not in tuned with the signs and the prophecy and when it was supposed to be prophesied and when that prophecy was supposed to be up and lifted. You feel me? And that is the problem. And the ignorance is just, I mean, on that panel. I mean, it's wild. It's crazy. And we have people that are actually, you know, I know for a fact, you know what I'm saying, that they are original Americans, because you're going as far back as your third, fourth grandmother being born in the Americas, and you're still thinking you're African. That's insane. It is absolutely insane. You feel me? And another thing is, another reason why we have to step up and why it's imperative and why we have to put more urgency in us declaring who we are and standing as who we are is because we have to make a distinction between the United States and America. Too many people think the United States is America. The United States is not America, and we have to start reclaiming our identity. There's only one American, and that's us. Not even the Native Americans should even call themselves Native Americans, because they are not Americans. That's why Obama had to change from American Indian to Native American, which means just to be born. You see, that identity, that birthright, that pedigree belongs to one group of people, and that is the original so-called Black people of the Americas. We are the only and true Americans. Nobody else. And we have to step up. We have to step up. We must step up and reclaim our birthright. It's imperative. When you go look at the definition of American in Noah Webster's 1820 dictionary, and I'm paraphrasing, it tells you that we were replaced by Europeans that's born in America. They're telling you boldly in the definition. Okay? In the definition. Native Americans are Europeans. They are Eurasians. And I've already broke down that video to show you where they came from in Russia. And Russia is actually in Europe and Asia. So they are Eurasians. They are not Americans. So we have to stand up, step up, and tell our story. We cannot allow Africans, real Africans, to tell our stories. When we know that allegedly this mainstream DNA companies, they literally they have conspired with, I mean, and I'm saying allegedly, okay, with the colonization society to put our people in Africa. You feel me? It's insane. So let's listen a little more and then I'll conclude this video. I just find this very, very troubling. Let's listen some more.
So discrimination too is also felt within Black people.
Yeah, because I went to Walmart one time. I speak to a Black lady, and then she told me, "Oh, I thought you was one of us," because the way I was because I speak English to her, and she know I'm not American, you know. And then I live in Houston. When Spanish people see me walking in the street, they see me close to them, they feel like you know, Black people is coming. When I say, "Hey, ¿cómo están? ¿Qué tal?" Oh, they feel like, they feel safe. You understand?
Wow. Oh, so you're telling me Hispanic don't feel safe amongst Black people? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but when
why they don't feel safe?
Because I work among the Spanish.
We live in the same
the female supply person, they really greet me until I said something in Spanish to them.
Okay, let's move on to Joseph and then Anarchy. Yeah, Joseph.
So I'm black.
Oh, okay. Let's move on to Joseph. Yeah, Joseph, then Anarchy. Yeah, Joseph, go ahead.
Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Where I got about this topic because I keep seeing it all over TikTok every time I'm scrolling. But basically, you know, African American, to be honest with you, I was born in 81. I'm 43. I heard my man say he was 50-something. So if you're 50-something, you should know that Jesse Jackson came up with the name African American back in 1990. Everybody go look that up. That name was made up by him. And on your birth certificate, it say Negro because that's what we was identifying as before they changed it. And on my birth certificate, it says black.
Nobody make the word Negro up as well.
In the 70s,
man, you got network.
We're tied to Negro, we're tied to black, we're tied to David. Name too many times.
Man, get you a good phone, man. Your network is having issues, man. Yeah, Anarchy, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanna ask a question. I'm curious. I'm really curious about what are we talking about, right? Are we having conversations about the sort of like disconnect between Black people in America, Black Americans versus Black immigrants? I can't hear. I like to hear like one person at a time. I can't hear like 15 people. So
he mentioned something about Jesse Jackson, which was a fact. So he was the one that actually introduced the African American introduction to the term African American to the Black Americans, right? So the actual term is Black American if you're born here, not African American. It was just something that he
Black American came after African American came first, right?
No. Jesse Jackson. Wasn't the other gentleman? Where did he go? Yeah, so Jesse Jackson
came before Black American.
African American, Black American.
Okay. So you see all the confusion we are hearing on this call because nobody's educating these people, and that's a problem.
I like only when Jackson or they brought it back. And
this is why I like to listen to older folks when they talk. Like the guy who said
the reason I was asking. Right, and I am 42 years old. So Black American was not first. It was actually we went from being the N-word to colored.
Colored, Black,
right?
African American.
No, black was not a part of it.
What was
Black American was never a thing. It was actually really rooted in
Black was never a part of the conversation.
So that means it's always been a part of the conversation. If it has never been, so it's not coined. That's what we're trying to say.
Right.
African American was coined.
Right. That's what I said. Black American was not coined.
It doesn't need to be coined.
Oh, all right, brother. I'm agreeing with you. What I'm saying was Black American did not come prior to African American. African American came first.
But that's the thing. If it was never coined, it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean.
It was
Black American.
Right.
There's no history. It's always from the very beginning of time.
That is. Can you stop for a second? That's what I am saying.
No, you're misinforming people.
Okay.
You're spreading
what I said. What I am saying is Negro American and then African American came. And
if you're on the back chat and you're not following the host, you're not coming in. So I'm looking for people that are following me back. But Anarchy, go ahead, and then we go to Messiah and then Joseph.
The distinction that happened was not between African American and Black American. Black American is definitely new, and this idea of Black American
never new. Oh my God.
Point out Anarchy.
Hold up. Pause. We can disagree. I'm not gonna.
We're trying to be logic here.
Hold on. Here's the thing. We can disagree, but you couldn't.
We're not disagreeing.
Okay, but then you could let me say what I'm saying without. But you're not
speaking the truth, though.
All right, right on. Go ahead.
All right, let's go to Messiah. Messiah, what's up, man?
What's going on?
All right, are you Indian? Are you YT? What are you? You come on in. What do you have to say based on what you have heard on the topic?
I'm going to ask 2 questions, and I want people to answer this question. The first question is this: does everybody know what the 14th Amendment is?
What does that have to do with anything?
What gives birthright citizenship, right? So at this particular time, Donald Trump wants to change the 14th Amendment.
There you go.
So here's my question. Who was the 14th Amendment written for? Who's going to get deported and who's not going to get deported?
Land your plane. What are you talking about? Get to your point.
So the 14th Amendment was written for the descendants of slaves, African Americans. So if they hold the 14th Amendment to the standard of the law, they can deport anybody.
This isn't about politics. We're not talking about Donald Trump.
Nobody's talking about politics. We're talking about law. Because if the government itself sees us as separate from people in Africa, because if they hold it to the standard of the law, it only covers descendants of slaves.
Yeah, but you brought up deportation. So why'd you bring up deportation? Who's talking about deportation?
That would mean, listen to what I'm saying. That would mean if they hold it to the standard of a law, even if you came from Africa and got your citizenship, you could still be deported. But
you're fear-mongering, man. You're fear-mongering.
Hold on. Now let me say something, right? You know why they wouldn't deport you? Because you are considered a commodity, right? You haven't finished paying what they bought you for, so that's why they are still holding you onto it. Now deporting people based on where they are coming from. You go to most hospitals in the United States, they are run by immigrant doctors. Now, if you send out all of these people out packing, do you have people to replace them? No, you don't. So those are just amount of work. It's not things that is going to be implemented.
Hey, why do you say no? Why do you say no? Why did you say no? They don't have.
Hold on. There's going to be a vacuum if you decide to create a vacuum without having people to fill it, and then the economy is.
Why would you say no? They don't have people to.
I mean, of course. I mean, if you go into in the state of Texas. There's a hospital that I go to. Over 60% of the nurses that I see, they are Africans.
So let me ask you a question.
Hold on. Let me finish.
Wait.
Hold on. When I went, hold on. There's a truck that comes around in one of my street, picks up immigrants to go and pick to go and pick is it blueberries in a farm in Texas. If you send out these people, I don't see people that are going to replace this group, so the economy of this people is going to crumble.
Fair enough.
So sometimes you guys talk things
that actually.
Hold on.
Why do you?
Bro, I'm going to drop you, man. If you don't let me land my point, then I'm going to drop you. So you want to create a vacuum, and you don't have people that are going to fill it. So you think the economy is going to remain stable? No, it's not. It's going to crumble. So when you are deporting people, you are creating another room of failure. And that is it. Go ahead.
Brother, I'm not talking about deporting people. I'm asking, are you covered under the law? If the law says that it is for descendants of slaves and they decide to hold it to the standard of the law, my question, I'm not even talking about deportation, are people that are from Africa that got their citizenships, would they be covered under the law? That's the question, yes or no?
Yeah, that law, there's an international law that backs immigrants that are coming into this country. That's why they have embassies.
Our constitution
in America is different from international. That's why United States have embassies in African countries. And do you know how much they make from embassies? For people coming into this country, they make the money that United States embassies make in foreign countries are more than the economy that the black or minority in this group even provide in this country. So deporting people back is not going to be a one-way street. It's going to be a two-way street. Once you start doing that, we're going to see who is going to lose on both sides. And that's what I'm just telling you. It's not just going to be America, right? There are also people that are going to cut economic ties and all of that stuff. There are also, wait, let me finish. A lot of T groups are going to develop around the world where United States is going to be forced to, put a lot of money in, and when that money is being sent overseas, the economy of this country can also crumble. And that's why Trump want to reduce the number of military overseas to make sure that money that is being sent overseas can be used to elevate the economy of this country. And this is what most of you guys in the rank and file settlement are not seeing it. You just believe in deportation. You don't know what the outcome will be when that happens.
I'm not talking about deportation. My question is, forget deportation. I'm not talking about deportation.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Is, would you be covered under the law?
So let me
So once again, right, you see this whole big conversation. Africans have a big panel and inviting so-called black people and African Americans on the panel, and none of them cannot articulate the story or a true story in the Americas. They all think they came from Africa. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say, man, listen, those of us who know, we got so much work to do. It's not even funny. It's not.
If you look up international law, the United States, hold up 1 second, bro. If you look under international law, the United States does not go by international law. No citizen of the United States can be picked up by the World Court at any time without the permission of the United States government at all.
He's absolutely right.
The United States is above international law. The United States is above international law.
Okay, so he's absolutely right on that. But he's wrong on the part about the United States is above international law. The United States is not above international law. However, the United States citizens are only wards of the United States because they are corporate wards. Until they declare otherwise, meaning that they are indigenous, then it becomes international. That's why I teach y'all every single day, man. You see what I'm saying? Because the international platform cannot intervene because the people are private property. You feel me? But anyway, like I said, all I could do is teach, man.
Asking you, the Constitution of the United States, the 14th Amendment, when it was written for the descendants of slaves to be naturalized citizens through birth, right? And what I said was, I don't care if it's Biden or whoever, if the United States government says we're going to go by law, only covers the descendants of slaves, would people from Africa be covered under that law?
No, what about the Europeans? What about the Europeans that are also immigrants?
The answer is no. So, I mean, what's your point? Exactly. I'm trying to get to his point. Like, what's your point?
So my point is that the government of the United States makes a distinction between African Americans and everybody else.
So what about the Europeans as well? What about the Latinos? Are they covered under that same law that you are saying?
No, they would be able to be deported also. So
your point doesn't make sense because deporting everyone that you don't know the economy of these immigrants that they.
Bro, it's not about deporting anybody. It's about the law.
That law is not going to work anyway.
I'm interested in knowing what Messiah think African American is. What is your definition of an African American?
So an African American is a descendant of slaves. But we've been here so long that if you look up our DNA compared to those coming from the continent of Africa, it's totally different. It is totally different because of the admixtures and all the other stuff within our DNA.
It's called ethnogenesis.
So thank you. Let me ask you a question.
Took place.
Let me ask you this: is there a difference between Germans and English people from England?
No, the difference is
of course.
No,
hold on.
The similarities is one, they are all whiteys. And another similarities is two, they are all under a continent called Europe. The only difference is they have a different country. One is called German and one is called English or whatever. But that is just it. But when it comes,
they speak different languages though.
It's just a language.
Hold on.
When it comes to skin tone, when it comes to continent, when it comes to their same lifestyle, they all have the same mindset and all of that. You know.
Okay. So what I'm saying here is this, right? So we know there's German people, we got English, we have Italian, and we have the rest. Nobody argues that fact, right? But if you look at the history of people from England,
you're not making sense. But let's go to Mr. Fax. Mr. Fax, are you African American or Indian?
I'm African American.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Say something. Introduce. And then we go back to Messiah. Messiah, you've been talking. Stay muted. Mr. Fax, go ahead.
Yeah. So.
Hold on.
Hold on.
They have almost. Let me see. I think 20-something people on the back chat. If you are not following the host, I'm not gonna bring you in till you follow the host, and then you can come in. But yeah, Mr. Fax, go ahead.
Yeah, but or you can say Black American, either one. But and that's because I know I gotta have some. I have to have some kind of African ancestry. I mean, but technically, the whole world does when you think about it. But that's another topic. But what's the topic really about? It says who is African American and who is Black American. I would say the Black Americans are the people that are more Afro indigenous. They would consider themselves more indigenous than African. But still, I would say that somewhere down the line they have African DNA. So that's what I feel. I mean, there's no escaping it. Whether it's later on down your lineage or not, there's still that connection. There has to be. Just like how they said the continents were all once connected. That's technically how we have to look at it when it comes to people.
Let me ask you
we're separate,
right?
we're still kind of connected genetically.
An African American came on the panel and said Elon Musk is more African than Black Americans. Is that true?
Wait, he said what?
Elon Musk is more African than Black American.
Marx?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. I know you're talking about. It's more African. I mean, technically, because he's from the continent of Africa. He's born on the continent, right?
Yeah. So he's more African than Black American, right? Black American.
I mean, he was born on the continent, so technically he could be considered a continental African, but not like so far as African or race. His race is not Black, so he's not a Black African. But he's African. He's a European African, I would say, or something like that. Or I don't know however you want to slice it. He's a white African.
The question is more African than Black American.
Technically, because if he grew up in the culture, technically he would be. I don't know if he speaks the language or not. I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, he's
technically, yeah. I mean, so far as proximity.
His families grew up in South Africa. He was born there.
Yeah, so technically, yeah, he would be. He'd be more African because of his proximity.
Right, Joseph,
being born on the continent.
I don't know
because I've heard Africans get into it with other Africans saying that telling other Africans that's continental Africans that's born on the continent saying that they're not as African as somebody from somewhere else or something like that, and so I don't know. I mean, it's kind of subjective because you'll have our Africans arguing with other Africans saying they're not full African because they have admixture saying they're Arab. Oh, you're Arab. You're not really. Technically, you're not even from here. You're from
So facts. I'll say something. Like for example, in America, like African Americans, they're like Africans will call people like me. They have a name. It's called Akata, right? They call me Akata because I was born here. So, but even though my mom is an African American because she was actually born and she's from Ghana and she was born there, even though I was born here and I was raised in Africa, they consider me as Akata. They look at me as like, yo, you're not.
Yeah, you're Ghanaian, man. Nobody call you Akata. You're Ghanaian, man. Akata is a Nigerian word. How does that align to Ghanaian?
No, but they're like, they'll call you fake. They'll call you fake African. You're not born on the continent.
Man, you're Ghanaian, man. Come on.
That's facts, though. That's facts. He's being honest, though. Yeah, we.
No, but I understand you though. I understand what you're saying. So like you're saying that you're Black American first, but you are African American because you have that root of African blood.
Right. I have a buddy of mine. He's Nigerian, but I don't look at him as like actually being. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but it's like because he was born here in the States. And, you know, he still practices the culture because his parents, you know, he still goes back to his home country whenever he gets a chance with his parents.
Yeah.
But his whole demeanor.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Yeah, I had enough of this. Like I said, man, we got work to do, man. We got work to do. Honestly, we got work to do. So you know, like I said, I was just browsing on TikTok and you know, I came across this live that they have, and I just wanted you guys to hear a little bit of that, you know, and that's why I'm going so hard every single day, man. You know, just going hard because we got work to do, man. We got to step up and declare who we are. We got to let the world know we know who we are, and we are not going to play these games, man. All these people are part of the conspiracy. I'm telling you. They are part of the conspiracy, and the goal is to uproot us from our roots. That's what it is, especially now. They realize a lot of our people are waking up. A lot of our people are speaking up. Don't you find it quite ironic? Check it out. Don't you find it quite ironic that even as early as 5 months, 6 months ago, right, you never had so many Africans, you know, having these discussions on whether it's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, about who we are and who we are not. There was a doctor, Dr. Mumbi, I think, or Mumbai, I think her name was, and she had gotten on her platform and said that, listen, we have to acknowledge and realize that not every so-called Black person is African. The people in America, they are Americans. They're the original people. I sent her an email, okay? And I was like, listen, I would like to come on your platform or you come on mine and have a discussion with that. And, you know, she was scared to do it because she said, listen, she said, Chief, I wish you all the best on your journey. I tried, you know, and made an attempt to build a bridge between Africans and the original Americans, so-called Black people. And she said she received threats. She received threats. Even people wanting to do voodoo and evil stuff, you know, to her from Africa. You see what I'm saying? Because these people don't want us to wake up. These people don't want us to know who we are. Because if we, you see, once we step up to where we're supposed to be, we get to regulate everything. We decide who come and go. Because that's the way it was supposed to be. The foreigners who came here, we allowed them to come here, and their stay was temporary. Their rule is already over. Based on prophecy, it's over. You feel me? We are the ones that's here wasting time. I know what I'm talking about. All right? So I'm going to end this video, man. Enjoy the rest of y'all continuation. I had enough of this with them. You know what I'm saying? Because even the so-called Black people here that's on that panel, they lost as you know what. So I'm just going to leave that alone, you know, because the whole topic is, you know, Africans versus Black Americans, you know. So the topic is who is African American and who is Black American. And this is a big conversation because we have always been a big topic. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. All right. Like I said, we got work to do. I love y'all. Rest well. We'll talk soon. Take care.